Thank you, Gregory, and thank you, all of you here, because all of your help and volunteering and support of Israel really counts, and we're so grateful for everything you all do. As far as apartheid, the accusation of apartheid in the UK is concerned, it is quite widely used to drive up hate against Israel and hate against the Jewish community. Sometimes it's because the people who hate Israel also hate the Jews. Sometimes it's just collateral damage from their point of view. Okay, but the real problem is that terrible, evil people in Israel. We do, of course, like the Jews, but it's just unfortunate if some people misinterpret what we say. But the fact is that it does drive up hatred of Jews as well as hatred of Israel. Many Jewish students and other students who are sympathetic towards Israel or the Jewish or Jews at universities in the UK dread the onset of Israel Apartheid Week, which has become a fixture in quite a number of UK universities. As it happens, perhaps slightly surprisingly, this year I don't think it has been quite as bad as it has been in previous years, and this is despite the reports and limited publicity that's been given to the report of Amnesty International, and perhaps slightly greater publicity given to the report of Human Rights Watch, which, and we thank David again for his work on Amnesty International, but it was given some publicity in the UK, and so is a matter of concern. The UK government came out with a forceful statement objecting to it, which was helpful in the sort of wider political discourse, although not really at universities where people are opposed to the right of centre government, as you might expect. It is a problem and a thing that we would like to address. And obviously one way to address it is to point out as much as we can that Israel is not an apartheid state. On the contrary, Arabs in Israel and under Israeli jurisdiction have far more rights and a better standard of living than Arabs almost anywhere else, certainly far more rights than Arabs anywhere else, and a better standard of living than Arabs in all but the more wealthy oil-producing and gas-producing states in the area. But certainly the standard of living of Arabs in the territories under Israeli administration has increased enormously since 1967, when Israel came into those territories. And of course, Arabs within the Green Line are equal citizens of Israel and share in its success, and share the statistics of happiness of the inhabitants of Israel, Jewish and Arab alike, are amongst the highest in the world. And so you have all these factors which are, of course, ignored by the authors of these reports, but these are things that we can point out to people, and we do to some extent, but there are other organisations that do that. But we also try to deal with people like Amnesty International, who come out with this political propaganda, this false political propaganda. And they do claim to be a charity, particularly when they're raising money. And it is half true. It is half true because they are actually several different organisations. They have charitable organisations and they have non-charitable organisations. And charities are subject to careful regulation by the Charity Commission in the UK, actually separately in England, Scotland and Northern Ireland. And I think this is the case in many other countries as well. Other entities are not under such close regulation, but charities are supposed not to engage in pure political propaganda, and they're supposed to act for the public benefit. And driving up hate against communities is not for the public benefit. So we complained to the Charity Commission, as we have done before about Amnesty International, as not complying with their obligations as a charity. And as before, they said, oh no, it's not our charitable part that's doing this campaign, it's our non-charity part. So we say, well, why did you, when you circulated the publication, why did you say that this was Amnesty International charity that was circulating it? And they said, oh, well, that was a mistake, and that was only circulated to a few journalists, and we corrected that. So it's fair to say we did not expect to be successful on this occasion, but we did want to make a point. One reason why we wanted to make a point, I have to say, is a rather self-centered reason, you may say in a way, but it's for a good cause. People who don't like our activities, people who are opposed to Israel, actually complain to the Charity Commission from time to time about what we do. Now, we've set up a similar organisation. We have a charitable arm and a non-charitable arm. We point out to the Charity Commission, well, actually, when we do political things, that's our non-charitable arm. And we say, and what's more, if you object to the way we're operating, you have to close down Amnesty International. Well, of course, they would never do that, because Amnesty International is a really big charity with a lot of support in the UK, and so they wouldn't dare close down Amnesty International, and therefore they can't close us down. There are these collateral benefits, but we did actually get a sort of bit of a crack in Amnesty International's protection, if you like, because some of the people who used to say that Amnesty International is a very worthy organisation, is something that people should support, and you shouldn't really attack it. If you want to do anything, if you're concerned about anything they've done, draw it to their attention and try and get them to put it right and so on. Not terribly helpful advice, that actually, but that's what some people were saying. Well, some of those people are now saying this report really was at the very edge or beyond what a charity should be doing. So we did get we're getting somewhere with our concerns, but I think we'll have to take it a bit further. That's a brief summary of the situation in the UK. We're work in progress, let's say, but just at the moment, I think it's the apartheid allegation has not carried quite as much traction as I think the Amnesty International and Human Rights Watch would have liked to have come out of their work on the subject.